Welcome back to Panda Audiobooks. The pursuit has left the bright lights of the trading hubs and entered the silent, terrifying depths of the Great Void. In our last episode, Jian Wushuang pulled off the heist of the century, seizing the Void star map and escaping the Divine Sovereign's trap in a display of power that shook the heavens. Today, we enter the Graveyard of Giants. Chapters 186 through 190 follow Wushuang and his companion as they follow the map's coordinates into the grave of the ancient gods. This is a place where space is fractured and the corpses of beings larger than planets drift in the dark. But they aren't alone. The Divine Sovereign has sent his first general, Iron Bloodyi, to intercept them before they reach the inner sanctum. In a place where even the laws of gravity are dead, Wushuang must find a way to fight a general whose power level is beyond anything he has ever encountered. The ancient secrets are calling. Chapter 186 starts right now. Chapter 186. Could he be cooler? Hey, kid. The fat middle-aged man shouted to Jian Wushuang. Where are you from? Jian Wushuang stood in front of the fat middle-aged man indifferently, saying nothing. Don't want to speak? It seems like you don't belong anywhere. The fat middle-aged man smiled coldly and said, Hey, listen up. I will give you two choices. One is to let me kill you and take your interspatial ring, and you try to perform better in your next life. The other is to go back with me and meet our first leader. First leader may be willing to keep you there to serve him tea since your appearance is not bad. Even if he doesn't like you, you could stay in the Purple Fire Gang and offer us massages. That would also be great. Ha ha. Hearing that, the bandits behind the fat middle-aged man all began to laugh. Kid, these are your only two choices, so pick one, the fat middle-aged man said coldly. Serve tea. Offer massages? Jian Wushuang touched his nose without saying anything. But the long sword behind him was already out. Chuu. When Jian Wushuang moved, sword lights rushed directly towards the bandits. The bandits were immediately annoyed. You are courting death. He dares to attack us alone. He's so uppity. Let's kill him. Kill. These bandits had killed many people, making them cruel and fierce. Now that they started to attack, they wouldn't show any mercy. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. When his figure was about to clash with the bandits, his swordsmanship burst out directly. A cold sword shadow could be seen lighting up suddenly. Then the light instantly overshadowed all the other lights in the area. This sword move. The moment Jian Wushuang's long sword slashed out, the bandits' faces turned pale, and then, Kai! The cold sword light swept through the bandits, and the sword edge slit their throats. With just a single exchange, all of the bandits except the leading fat middle-aged man had died and were laying in a pool of blood. Next, the sword edge of the triple-kill sword appeared on the fat middle-aged man's shoulder. You, fat man, did you mention earlier that you wanted to teach me the ways of the world? Jian Wushuang looked at the fat middle-aged man coldly and at the same time, he clapped his long sword. Plop. The fat middle-aged man knelt down without hesitation and begged, Sir, I fail to recognize how powerful you are and I deserve to die. But I need to support the children and elderly in my family. May I beg for your mercy? Hearing that, Jian Wushuang went into a daze. He had seen many people who were afraid of death, but he never saw anyone like this fat man. Sir. The fat man was still crying with his nose running. Shut up, Jian Wushuang shouted angrily. The fat middle-aged man was frightened and dared not speak anymore, but he kept looking at Jian Wushuang pitifully. I will ask you something, and you need to answer truthfully, Jian Wushuang said coldly. Of course I will. No matter what you ask, I won't hide anything. I swear. I only want to beg for your mercy, the fat middle-aged man said. You mentioned the first leader and the Purple Fire Gang just now. So you are a member of the Purple Fire Gang. What is its overall strength? Asked Jian Wushuang. Our overall strength? The middle-aged man was puzzled at first, but he immediately answered the question. Sir, there are several hundred people in the Purple Fire Gang and many of them are in the Gold Core realm. We have two leaders and both of them are in the initial Yin Void realm. In the whole easternmost plane, the Purple Fire Gang is a famous gang. Gang? Jian Wushuang could not help laughing as he asked, Aren't you just bandits? Hearing that, The fat middle-aged man smiled awkwardly. Are there any fugitives that are wanted by the surrounding 12 dynasties in the Purple Fire Gang? Jian Wushuang asked. Fugitives? Yes. The fat middle-aged man nodded. The second leader of the Purple Fire Gang is a silver-level fugitive. Other than him, we have 4 more who are at the level of Black Iron. It is easy to tell them apart since they are always wearing an armlet. 1 at the silver level and 1 at the Black Iron? Jian Wushuang smiled and said, "Take me to the stronghold of the Purple Fire Gang." Now, with you alone? The fat middle-aged man stared at Jian Wushuang stunningly. "Shut up, just lead the way," Jian Wushuang said with a serious look. Naturally, the fat middle-aged man dared not say more and immediately led the way for Jian Wushuang. Actually, the stronghold of the Purple Fire Gang was located on a hill in the easternmost plain, composed of simple houses and tents. At that moment, the stronghold of the Purple Fire Gang was very boisterous. Many bandits were busy enjoying meat and alcohol. Abruptly, a fat figure was thrown like a cannonball, landing on the floor and shaking the whole area. Obviously, the fat figure was the fat middle-aged man who had been caught by Jian Wushuang. "Fat Tang, what the hell are you doing?" Many bandits of the Purple Fire Gang looked towards the fat middle-aged man. The fat middle-aged man struggled to stand up. Without saying anything, he looked over his shoulder. Jian Wushuang, who only carried his long sword, folded his arms and slowly walked forward. The bandits immediately looked at Jian Wushuang, including the 2 people at the forefront, who were the 2 leaders of the Purple Fire Gang. One of them was a cold man with braids, wearing an armlet with the word "kill" written on it. Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up when he saw the armlet. "Are you the second leader of the Purple Fire Gang? I want the armlet on your arm." As his voice faded, the triple kill sword behind Jian Wushuang was already out. A horrifying sword essence instantly began radiating from him. Without speaking any nonsense, Jian Wushuang immediately attacked the cold man with braids. The Purple Fire Gang instantly fell into turmoil. "A little fellow who's only in the profound gold core realm wants to kill me?" The cold man with braids said while smiling disdainfully. "I don't know where this reckless and stupid guy come from, but send him away immediately," a purple-haired old man said while frowning. The purple-haired old man was the first leader of the Purple Fire Gang. The 2 sat in front of the table and drank, paying no attention to Jian Wushuang. However, many bandits around them were preparing to fight against Jian Wushuang. The fat middle-aged man who led the way for Jian Wushuang was stunned at this scene. This guy, a brat who just reached the profound gold core realm, actually dared to come to the stronghold of the Purple Fire Gang alone. What's more, he immediately attacked without even speaking any nonsense. Did he intend to kill our second leader? Dared he to be cooler? The fat middle-aged man shouted in his heart, but a hint of astonishment instantly appeared in his eyes. Chapter 187. Tang Wuji. What? Sitting by a long narrow table, the lukewarm man with a whip did not take Jian Wushuang seriously at first, but he immediately noticed the cold radiance of the sword that appeared in front of him. "Bro, watch out," the purple-haired elder next to him shouted aloud, looking completely shocked as well. Jian Wushuang had taken action just now while surrounded by a crowd of bandits that were trying to kill him. However, how could he appear in front of them so suddenly? Although still in amazement, the lukewarm man with a whip noticed more than 10 bandit corpses out of the corner of his eye. Did this profound gold core realm warrior really kill all those bandits in an instant? Bang! After a cold hum, the long narrow table in front of the man was instantly ground into dust. At this point, he immediately stood up and thrust his palm directly towards Jian Wushuang. His palm was surrounded by a brown halo which was the substantiation of the earth essence that he had comprehended. A fierce slap rushed forward, full of spiritual power from an initial Yin Void Realm warrior. Normally, this slap could have easily killed someone at the peak Gold Core Realm, let alone the profound Gold Core Realm. However, when the cold radiance of the sword reached him, shua! The sword directly pierced the man's palm without any resistance, slicing his palm in half before it went through the lukewarm man's neck, while maintaining a constant radiance. The lukewarm man glared, with eyes that were full of amazement, but his figure was slowly falling backward. Damn it! Wushuang! As soon as the purple-haired elder, the head of the Purple Fire Gang, saw this, a stunningly large axe appeared in his hand and a giant axe shadow cleaved towards Jian Wushuang in an overwhelming way. Go away! Even without looking at the purple-haired elder, Jian Wushuang waved his sword, which made the elder feel a strong power, causing his breath and blood to be in disorder. Feeling embarrassed, he finally retreated. After retreating, he hurried to jump up into the air. Then he looked at Jian Wushuang again from a relatively high position. His eyes were full of panic, and he did not dare to stand on the ground anymore. Void walk? Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. A Yin Void Realm warrior could not be killed as long as he used Void Walk. But the purple-haired elder was originally not his target. From the beginning, he wanted to kill that lukewarm man, and he had. Silver armlet. Jian Wushuang only waved his hand, taking away the man's armlet and interspatial ring. Then he started to look around. There are still 4 more. Wearing a sardonic grin, Jian Wushuang went directly towards them. Kai! 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 This slight sound was heard 4 times in succession. Those 4 bandits with black iron armlets were killed by Jian Wushuang, leaving behind their armlets for him. From the very beginning to the end, the first leader of the Purple Fire Gang was standing in the air, not daring to get involved. A large number of bandits surrounded Jian Wushuang, watching him in total horror but not daring to take action. However, Jian Wushuang did not care about these bandits at all, including the purple-haired elder of the Yin Void Realm, whom he did not even take seriously. When he got all the armlets, he sheathed the triple-kill sword. Then Jian Wushuang turned around with all the bandits staring at him. When he passed the fat middle-aged man, he suddenly halted. Looking at that man, he said with a smile, "Fat man, why don't you run away? Aren't you afraid that I will eat you alive?" After finishing his words, Jian Wushuang left. The middle-aged man glared and then spontaneously looked up at the purple-haired elder, only to find that his eyes were full of endless killing intent. The bandits around him were also staring at him. The fat middle-aged man's throat began swelling, then he scratched and scrambled towards Jian Wushuang without hesitation. "Sir, sir!" This fat middle-aged man yelled in anxiety, but he quickly changed how he addressed him. "No, boss. Please wait." Jian Wushuang and this man quickly left the residence of the Purple Fire Gang. In the boundless plain, Jian Wushuang was moving slowly, with a fat man following him. "Fatty, what is your name?" asked by Jian Wushuang. "Tang Wuji," the man answered. "Where are you from?" "From Qianzong Dynasty," Tang Wuji gave an honest reply. "Qianzong Dynasty?" Jian Wushuang's expression changed slightly, but there was a more apparent grin on his face. "I come from Qianzong Dynasty as well. Since you have reached the exceptional Gold Core realm, you're supposed to be an expert in the Qianzong Dynasty. So, how did you become a bandit in Easternmost Plain?" Jian Wushuang asked. "I had no choice," Tang Wuji helplessly said. "A group of my enemies was trying to kill me, so I had to leave. I had planned to travel to another dynasty, only to run into the bandits of the Purple Fire Gang when I arrived in Easternmost Plain. Fortunately, I have a silver tongue and tried my best to please them so that I could keep my life. Since then, I have been staying with the Purple Fire Gang." "Is that true?" Jian Wushuang frowned and said, "You mentioned that you were faced with a group of enemies. I wonder who they were or which group they belonged to." "It was the 9 Emperors sect," Tang Wuji said. When he mentioned it, his voice instantly became cold and there was a sharp light shining in his eyes, which made him look totally different from his previous image, when he was mortally afraid of dying. "The 9 Emperors sect?" Jian Wushuang became more astonished. What a coincidence! When he came to hunt in the Easternmost Plain, the first person he met was this fatty. Not only were both of them from Qianzong Dynasty, but more importantly, they had the same enemy. After all, the 9 Emperors sect was complicit with the Blood Feather Tower, which made them enemies with Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang quickly came to a conclusion. Tang Wuji belonged to the Pavilion of Raindrops, from Qiannan Province. The Pavilion of Raindrops was known for its ability to collect news from every corner of the city, which made it reputable in Qiannan Province. As for Tang Wuji, he must be the young master from the Pavilion of Raindrops. 3 years ago, the Pavilion of Raindrops and the 9 Emperors sect fought each other because of some benefits, leading to their destruction by the 9 Emperors sect. Then, the young master was chased by the 9 Emperors sect, forcing him to become a bandit in the easternmost plain. Tang Wuji, since you have stayed in the easternmost plain for almost 3 years, you must be very familiar with these bandit groups, right? Asked by Jian Wushuang. Of course, Tang Wuji nodded with certainty and said, I, as the young master of the Pavilion of Raindrops, which was best at intelligence, received strict training. Although my power isn't the best, when it comes intelligence there is no bandit in the whole easternmost plain that is better than me. Good, said Jian Wushuang with a grin, so you can just stay with me for the following days. Chapter 188. Provocation. In the coming days, Jian Wushuang continued to hunt in the easternmost plain while Tang Wuji sincerely followed him and provided him with information about the other bandits. It should be mentioned that Tang Wuji was a worthy member of the Pavilion of Raindrops, who was very good at collecting information. What he provided was amazingly precise. Jian Wushuang dealt with the gangs of bandits one by one according to Tang Wuji's information. He directly broke into the dens of those bandits, killed the fugitives who had armlets in a simple and brutal way, and then left. Among the many bandits in the easternmost plain, only a few of them were able to threaten Jian Wushuang. With his strength and precise information, he didn't need to be so cautious. 4 days passed in the blink of an eye. At night, the stars were glowing, shining on the boundless plain. Jian Wushuang casually sat cross-legged with a slightly serious expression. Tomorrow is the last day of the hunt, but I don't know if I have enough armlets, Jian Wushuang muttered to himself. The toughest part was the unclear specification of the hunting in Stage 1. No matter how many armlets you had, you would attempt to kill more fugitives and get more armlets so that you could feel relieved. Tang Wuji. Jian Wushuang looked over at the man who was snoring in his sleep. Tang Wuji instantly woke up with a start and asked, Boss, is there anything I can do for you? Today, you mentioned that there is a gang of bandits which are led by a blood jade fugitive, is that right? Jian Wushuang asked. Exactly. Tang Wuji nodded and said, I heard this from the first leader of the Purple Fire Gang. That man is named Jiyu Changsheng, a high-profile person who always invites famous bandits to his feasts. The first leader of the Purple Fire Gang had ever been to the feast and knew Jiyu Changsheng was a blood jade fugitive. Jian Wushuang slightly narrowed his eyes and said, Generally speaking, blood jade fugitives reach the profound Yin Void Realm, with only a few of them reaching the exceptional Yin Void Realm. But what level is Jiyu Changsheng at? The peak of the profound Yin Void Realm, Tang Wuji answered. Jian Wushuang's eyes suddenly lit up as he said, All right. Tomorrow, Jiyu Changsheng is our target. Okay. Tang Wuji immediately nodded with excitement. An ordinary person would definitely think Jian Wushuang had gone mad when he, a warrior at the profound Gold Core Realm, vainly attempted to deal with a warrior at the peak profound Yin Void Realm. But Tang Wuji didn't. After all, while following Jian Wushuang these last 4 days, he had witnessed Jian Wushuang kill many strong bandits one by one, even though he was only in the profound Gold Core Realm. The bandits in the initial Yin Void Realm were almost killed by Jian Wushuang with a single move. Even counting warriors in the profound Yin Void Realm, Jian Wushuang had killed 3 in these last 4 days. Moreover, he directly broke into their dens and killed them under the siege of a large number of bandits. Since he was able to kill warriors of the profound Yin Void Realm, even while surrounded, he was also able to kill those warriors in the peak profound Yin Void Realm. The next morning, there were a lot of bandits gathering around the villages in the easternmost plain. Good liquor and gourmet food were placed on the long narrow tables. Several beautiful women who were caught were dancing in the center of the room. Come on. White lady, a toast to you since it is so hard to meet you, said a strapping and intelligently dressed elder, with a smile, who held a bowl of liquor. First leader Jiyu, I should toast to you, said the absolutely beautiful lady in white, as she slightly smiled and picked up the bowl. Many bandits had been charmed by her every movement. However, suddenly, bang! The door of the village was kicked open and a middle-aged man with a round belly entered. That was Tang Wuji. As soon as he entered the village, he directly yelled in a swaggeringly way, Where is Jiyu Changsheng? My boss asks me to leave you a message. Many bandits in the village immediately looked towards Tang Wuji, including Jiyu Changsheng and White Lady. What? While looking at Jiyu Changsheng, Tang Wuji instantly grinned and said, Jiyu Changsheng, My boss is interested in your head and would like to compete with you in the 10-mile plane. He is already waiting there. If you are afraid of death, you can stay here." After finishing his words, Tang Wuji paid no attention to their responses as he immediately turned around and left. The atmosphere of the village instantly became depressing. Humph. Jiu Changsheng looked gloomy. Spiritual power burst from his palm that was holding the bowl, immediately causing the bowl to crack. "I'm going to see who the hell he is." Then, Jiu Changsheng immediately void-walked and violently rushed in the direction which Tang Wuji left. White Lady and many other bandits immediately followed him. In a vacant field, not far away from the village, sat Jian Wushuang, who carried the long sword. Shortly afterward, Tang Wuji came trotting and yelling, "Boss, he is coming. Jiu Changsheng is coming." Jian Wushuang opened his eyes. When a giant figure rushed toward him from the front air, he spontaneously showed a cold smile. Jian Wushuang stood up while Tang Wuji dodged behind him. Whoosh! It was Jiu Changsheng, the giant figure, suddenly descended with many bandits following. "Fat guy, where is your boss?" Jiu Changsheng coldly looked at Tang Wuji. "My boss is right here." Tang Wuji pointed to Jian Wushuang. Jiu Changsheng then looked over at Jian Wushuang. After observing that the aura from Jian Wushuang was of the profound gold core realm, his bleak eyes suddenly lit up. "How dare you fool me?" Jiu Changsheng, Jian Wushuang started to speak, in an icy voice, "He did not fool you. It is I that wanted to compete with you. And I'm really interested in taking your head." The triple kill sword had been drawn from behind Jian Wushuang and an overwhelming sword essence was slowly being released. Having seen this, the gang of bandits following Jiu Changsheng wore an awkward look. Tang Wuji was at least a warrior in the exceptional gold core realm. However, Jian Wushuang was only in the profound gold core realm? Was a warrior of the profound gold core realm interested in the head of an expert who reached the peak profound yin void realm? Had he gone crazy? However, Jian Wushuang didn't care about it at all. With a flash of icy-cold sword light, he had taken action. "Go to hell." Jiu Changsheng kept still with a bleak face. But his spiritual power had transformed into a sharp blade, violently rushing toward Jian Wushuang. Chapter 189, Sky Valley. The flashing cold sword light crashed against the virtual blade flash that was formed using spiritual power. The cold sword light instantly crushed the blade light as easy as stepping on dead grass. What? A surprised gleam appeared in Jiu Changsheng's eyes. This gold core. He was a warrior at the peak profound yin void realm. To resist his blade light, an ordinary warrior in the initial yin void realm would need to use their full strength. For warriors beneath the yin void realm, they wouldn't even be able to survive. But this gold core realm warrior not only warded off, but also smashed his blade light in only an instant. Chuu. The sword shadow appeared in front of Jiu Changsheng like a sinister viper. Jiu Changsheng sneered, and a cyan saber suddenly appeared in his hands. A strong raging fire essence radiated from the saber and then slashed towards Jian Wushuang. Clang! During this violent fight, he had used his full power. What? Jiu Changsheng was shocked when he realized that he was being dominated in this fight. He was even forced to retreat several steps by the counterforce of the attack. At the same time, Jian Wushuang quickly brandished his long sword again, as the shadow of his sword turned into a ray of flowing light. Selfless sword technique, idealistic form. Shua! A glaring and flowing light appeared in front of Jiu Changsheng, drifting through the air like a whisper. Jiu Changsheng didn't dare belittle Jian Wushuang again, continuously swinging his saber in an attempt to strike back. However, it was already too late to force Jian Wushuang back. Bang! With the collision of these terrifying powers, Jiu Changsheng grunted and stepped back awkwardly. Killing intent flashed in Jian Wushuang's eyes. Shua! A streak of sword light quickly swept forward. It moved at an incredible speed. The move Jian Wushuang displayed just now was the 9th move of the formless sword art. Though his overall strength had not improved too much in the past 2 months, his level of swordsmanship and sword skill still improved, and he had already grasped the 9th move of the formless sword art. Now, the 9th move flew towards Jiu Changsheng's throat at an amazing speed. Jiu Changsheng's eyes were full of unwillingness. He didn't want to lose like this, because he had not displayed his full strength yet, and he hadn't even had a chance to. If he could get one more chance, even if it was a straightforward battle with Jian Wushuang, he would not be afraid. But it was already too late. Plop! Jiu Changsheng's body dropped to the ground, while Jian Wushuang looked at his body with ice-cold eyes. You are so cocky, so you didn't take me seriously. Jian Wushuang shook his head with a smile. With Jian Wushuang's true strength, he could just barely fight against someone in the exceptional Yin Void Realm, but Jiu Changsheng was at the peak profound Yin Void Realm. Jian Wushuang's strength was just a little bit stronger than his. Jian Wushuang believed that he could suppress him but couldn't kill him in a head-on battle. After all, once a warrior in the Yin-Yang Void Realm chose to voidwalk, Jian Wushuang would be unable to fight with them. However, Jiu Changsheng looked down on him from the beginning. He did not use his full strength to resist Jian Wushuang's moves, and Jian Wushuang took advantage of this by using his full strength. In just a few moves, Jiu Changsheng had been killed by Jian Wushuang before he had time to show his true ability. After killing Jiu Changsheng, Jian Wushuang bent over and took the blood jade armlet. After taking the blood jade armlet, Jian Wushuang smiled and muttered, "With this blood jade, my armlets should be enough to meet the requirement. Tang Wuji, let's go." Jian Wushuang just turned around and left, with Tang Wuji rushing to follow him. They left the cold body of Jiu Changsheng lying on the ground, surrounded by a group of shocked bandits. Even the beautiful face of White Lady was full of panic. That was the combination of 3 sword essences: Gale, Raging Fire, and Water Drop. A profound Yin Void Realm warrior was just killed by someone in the profound Gold Core Realm. That exceptional genius should be from one of the 12 dynasties who joined the Easternmost Hunt. After claiming Jiu Changsheng's blood jade armlet, Jian Wushuang believed he had reached the requirement for passing the first stage, so he didn't want to fight with fugitives in the little bit of time that remained. Night time quickly arrived. Tang Wuji. Jian Wushuang looked at Tang Wuji, threw him an interspatial ring, and said, "I've killed many Yin Void warriors these last few days. Everything I got from them is in that ring I just gave you. Boss, what do you want me to do?" Tang Wuji looked at Jian Wushuang curiously. "I have other things to do, so it is not convenient to take you with me. Take this stuff and go back to the Qianzong dynasty. You don't need to worry about the 9 Emperors sect. They just suffered a big loss, so they don't have the energy to try and kill you," Jian Wushuang said. Tang Wuji furrowed his eyebrows and looked at Jian Wushuang seriously, then he nodded his head heavily and left. Not long after Tang Wuji left, a griffin landed in front of Jian Wushuang, with a black-armored sergeant riding on its back. Qianzong Dynasty, Jian Wushuang. The 5 days are up and your hunting time has ended. Now, come with me, the black-armored sergeant said in a cold voice. The aura of this sergeant was obviously in the Yin Void Realm. Okay. Jian Wushuang got on the griffin's back without any hesitation. Then he rushed toward the center of the easternmost plain together with this black-armored sergeant. Though the easternmost plain was a boundless prairie, there were still some mountains and rivers. At the center of the easternmost plain laid a vast rift called Sky Valley. It was called Sky Valley because it was a place where people could ascend to a new level. The black-armored sergeant led Jian Wushuang to one of the entrances of Sky Valley. "That's the gathering place for Qianzong Dynasty's geniuses. Please go down," the black-armored said. Jian Wushuang nodded and then jumped down. A few geniuses were already waiting at the entrance of the rift, including Su Ru. As Lu Xian showed up at the entrance, all of them looked at him. "Third brother." Su Ru immediately went to stand beside Jian Wushuang. "Fourth sister, how many armlets did you collect during the hunt? Are you sure you have enough to pass the first stage?" Jian Wushuang asked. Su Ru shook her head and said, "I'm not sure. I only have a few armlets." Jian Wushuang's complexion changed slightly. He had enough armlets to meet the requirement. But, unfortunately, he couldn't give his spare armlets to Su Ru. "The ones who have arrived shall wait here. After the geniuses of your Qianzong dynasty have all arrived, I will announce the required armlet quantity," said a purple-robed elder who was coldly standing at the entrance. Obviously, this elder was not from Qianzong dynasty but from another dynasty. Otherwise, his attitude towards them would not have been so indifferent. But Jian Wushuang and his comrades were not angry. They just waited quietly. Soon after, all those Qianzong dynasty's geniuses of this hunt were gathered here. Chapter 190, 1388 points. Now that everybody is here, I will announce the requirement for passing the first stage, the purple-robed elder said. Jian Wushuang and his comrades were slightly stunned. 15 people participated in the hunt, but only 13 of them were here now, yet the purple-robed elder said everybody was here. Jian Wushuang and his comrades immediately realized that the missing 2 might have died during the hunt. I was not in danger during the hunt because my strength is greater than my comrades. In addition, I knew the strength of the bandits thanks to Tang Wuji's detailed information. But they Jian Wushuang sighed with helplessness. Life and death were decreed by fate. For most geniuses, the easternmost hunt was not only a great opportunity, but also a great peril. Opportunity and danger always went hand in hand. Hand over your armlets, the purple-robed elder said. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang and other participators immediately took out the armlets they had gained during the 5 days of difficult hunting. We will use points to measure the result of the hunt this time, the purple-robed elder narrated. The armlets are divided into 4 levels. They include black iron, silver, purple gold, and blood jade. Each level has corresponding points. A black iron armlet equals 1 point. A silver armlet equals 10 points. A purple gold armlet equals 100 points. And a blood jade armlet equals 1000 points. 100 points are needed to pass this stage. Hearing this, many of those 13 geniuses present looked embarrassed. Now, everybody step forward and pass me your armlets, the purple-robed elder continued. Shortly after saying that, a genius, with an agonizing look on his face, stepped forward and passed his armlets to the purple-robed elder. The purple-robed elder put a cold smile on his face after he counted the armlet. You have 20 armlets, but 18 of them are black iron armlets and only 2 are silver armlets. 38 points in total. So you are not qualified to participate in the point battle. The grey-robed elder announced it openly, making this genius complexion turn pale. Then another genius stepped forward. You got 84 points, much more than the last one. But unfortunately, you are not eligible to participate in the second stage either. 61 points. Not qualified. 21 points. Trash. There were several geniuses who stepped forward in succession, but none qualified for the point battle in the second stage. At this moment, Feng Yuqian, who was from the gladiator arena, stepped forward. Feng Yuqian was ranked 4th in the updated earthly dragon list in the Qianzong dynasty. 124 points. Finally, there is someone who can participate in the second stage. But with so few points, you will be one of the weakest among the top geniuses in the second stage. You may easily lose your life, the purple-robed elder said. Then he gave the armlets back to Feng Yuqian. What the purple-robed elder said made Feng Yuqian look bad, but he was not angry. After taking the armlets, he quietly stood aside. The remained geniuses stepped forward one by one, and the corresponding results came out. Mu Yingying got 136 points. Bailey Chen got 349 points. Yang Zixuan got 275 points. Su Ru got 115 points. Except for them, no other disciples surpassed 100 points. Yang Zixuan, how did you get 2 purple gold armlets? Bailey Chen looked at Yang Zixuan in surprise. Both Mu Yingying and Feng Yuqian also stared at Yang Zixuan. Both Mu Yingying and Feng Yuqian were ranked higher than Yang Zixuan. But, in the end, Yang Zixuan got twice as many points as they did. How could they not be shocked? Yang Zixuan looked indifferent. He was just standing there like a stone, not explaining anything. As for Su Ru's points, people thought it was reasonable because Su Ru had pushed Shui Yun back during the selection battle. All the geniuses of Qianzong dynasty who participated in the hunt already knew their points except for Jian Wushuang. At this point, he stepped forward as well and walked towards the purple-robed elder. Jian Wushuang took out the armlets he gained during the 5 days of hunting. After seeing Jian Wushuang take out over 10 armlets in succession, the purple-robed elder was in shock. Among these 10 or so armlets, the black iron and silver armlets could be neglected. But there were 3 purple gold armlets and 1 blood jade armlet. Blood jade armlet? The purple-robed elder looked at Jian Wushuang with astonishment. Normally the beasts that owned the blood jade armlet had at least reached the peak profound yin void realm. However, one of these warriors was killed by a genius who was only in the gold core realm. This rarely occurred in the 12 dynasties. Normally, such super geniuses only existed in the 2 large empires and few middle-sized empires. But now, unexpectedly, a small empire produced one. In total 1,388 points. Well done, young man, the purple-robed elder said while looking at Jian Wushuang. The way he looked at Jian Wushuang was obviously different from the other geniuses. After all, a genius who could get more than 1,000 points in the hunt was at the pinnacle of all 12 dynasties. After hearing Jian Wushuang's points, the other geniuses were all stunned. So many points. His points are more than 1,000 higher than Bailey Chen. How could he kill a beast that owned a blood jade armlet? He's a real monster. The geniuses were all looking at Jian Wushuang, especially those who were not qualified to participate in the second stage. Their eyes were filled with envy and jealousy. Unfortunately, even though Jian Wushuang gained so many points, he couldn't share them. All right, I have recorded everyone's score. The geniuses who are not qualified for the second stage can leave now, the purple-robed elder said. Hearing this, the geniuses who did not have enough points sadly left, one after the other. Among the 13 geniuses who survived, only 6 had enough points and were entitled to attend the second stage. They were Jian Wushuang, Yang Zixuan, Su Ru, Bailey Chen, Mu Yingying, and Feng Yuqian. You 6 already did a good job by passing the first stage. Next, I will tell you guys the rules for stage 2, the purple-robed elder said. The goal in stage 2 is actually very simple. It's point stealing. The armlets you collected during the hunt, which can represent your points, have been returned to you. Over the next 10 days, you will enter Sky Valley and battle with the warriors from the other dynasties for the armlets. After 10 days, a ranking will be created according to the points you collect. In the end, geniuses who rank in the top 10 will be rewarded by the 12 dynasties. The higher the ranking is, the greater the rewards. And with that desperate leap into the spatial rift to escape the first general's wrath, we conclude chapter 190. Wushuang has survived his first encounter with the Ironblood general, but they are now stranded in the inner graveyard, a zone so volatile that no map can navigate it. Wushuang's sword is humming with a strange new resonance, reacting to the ancient blood that stains this region. He's closer to his father than ever before, but the cost of that proximity might be his very soul. Is the key his father holds meant to unlock a prison or a weapon? Join us next time for chapters 191 through 195, as Wushuang discovers a living survivor among the ancient corpses and learns the true, dark purpose of the heavenly creation skill. Thank you for listening to Panda Audiobooks. If you're feeling the chill of the ancient grave, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with your fellow cultivators.